what's up? What's up? This is Zbookies.com podcast and stream coming at you. It is N2.
The B-hole.
J-Rod.
And Q.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's the first cast of the new year.
Fucking 2021.
Man, so excited
Let's go.
to get this year under our belt. And the playoffs start this week as well. Last week was a good week for the Seahawks in terms of winning the game. Wasn't a great week for Jared in terms of the Seahawks covering because of the late 1 minute defense
He just goes
collapse.
straight into throwing shade.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
This is the only way. It's fine.
I'm only here to throw shade. And
This
by
is
the
the
way,
way.
Brucey also owes Brandon some coconuts after last week because
I talked to Bruce. He's out. He said that he will send the coconuts.
The coconuts are in the mail, right?
No, the coconuts are actually being sent here via what did he say? God. Assistant, help me
via
out.
Wallaby?
It was Sparrow.
Oh, Sparrow.
Yeah.
Swallow?
Swallow.
European
That's what
swallow.
it was.
Yeah, the
African swallow.
Okay,
African
it's
swallow.
Okay, gotcha. It's the Monty Python reference.
Yes.
Gotcha.
African swallow.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't know how many
Small
coconuts,
rocks- small rocks float.
these swallows are going to be carrying, but apparently you owe them a couple.
Yeah.
So how many trips it might take, I'm not sure. That was for the Bills lock, by the way. We all did great on the Giants game last week. Boy, wasn't it great that the Cowboys still didn't get in?
Yes, I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
The only
It's
thing
a
that would've
perfect Sunday.
The only
It
thing that
is.
would have been better
Hawks
than them
win,
not
Cowboys
getting
out of the
in
playoffs.
Yeah. I
was
like
them
it.
having won that game and then not getting in because the Eagles would have screwed them. That would have been even a bigger meltdown for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Had that
I think
happen
Because
to
all
their
of
fan
their
base.
I
exactly,
think
and their
the
fan base is
only way-
flamboyant as it is, it would have freaked out.
The only way it
Skip
could have
would
been
have had
better.
a heart attack.
The only way it could have been better is if the Hawks were the reason they didn't make it, which obviously wasn't a possibility. But
I
if,
wish we could have put ourselves in that
yeah,
situation.
I know, right? How perfect of a Sunday is that? The Hawks win.
Well, we did beat the
Cowboys,
49ers.
knock them out of the playoffs. That's a win.
That's a
too.
pretty good Sunday.
Well, you know who guaranteed the losing season for the Dallas Cowboys, right? Jerry Jones.
Every season.
He's kind of always on record of that.
Rest in peace, Jerry Jones's football winning years.
Go back whatever episodes ago that I went into Jerry Jones.
Can he
Before
fire
they lost
himself
10
as
games.
GM?
Yeah, he can. He can
I'd like
step
to
down,
fire him.
resign. I'm going to resign.
John
And it's the
Elway.
right thing.
Elway's doing that.
He's
Yeah.
doing good.
Elway's stepping away from football.
Hey,
operations.
maybe I
7
don't-
jobs opened up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of jobs.
Here's
considering
okay.
there's a-
If we're going to go into that, can I have a second talk about? So hold on.
Let's not deep dive into jobs,
Yeah.
though.
No,
I think it's a
but-
post-playoff conversation.
Eric,
Yeah.
but
Get right to
Eric
the
is
Hawks if we
actually
want.
going for it. Eric, the offensive coordinator, who's always been in Andy Reid's shadows,
Yeah,
actually
the
interviewing.
enemy's deserving of a lot of
Can I run a
consideration.
theory by you on Bieniemy?
Please.
Now, this might not happen, but I've always kind of thought he's the coach and waiting behind Reid. He's been with him since Philly. He's been his guy. I mean, how much longer is Reid close? Am I
That
crazy
tells
to think
me-
Reid's retiring?
No,
or is
that's
it-
why I
they
think
win
he's
it this
leaving.
year, and then maybe Bieniemy.
Well, did you
takes
see
over
the
the job?
Did
in a
you see
couple
the stat
years?
about
No.
Andy Reid that this is
Never?
the
Andy Reid's going to stay in it.
If-
That's why he's leaving.
if Andy Reid wins week 1 or week 2 when he after his bye, it'll be the third time the Chiefs have hosted the AFC Championship in a row, which has only happened twice now. If this happens, it'll be the second time in NFL history. The first time was him with the Eagles.
Did you?
I like that.
That's a,
Yeah.
a fun fact for you.
That's
It is good. I like it.
I got another one that I heard that kind of scared me. We'll just go right into the Hawks with this. Did you hear the rumor about Detroit? And actually, Rappaport did it about being interested in going after the moon and getting John Schneider.
Snyder
And
said
it's
he
a-
was happy.
Yeah, I don't think this is the first time though that a team has targeted
So-
Snyder. I think the Packers even tried to talk to him at one point.
And
Why
we
the
blocked
fuck would he
that.
want to go to Detroit?
He wouldn't, but maybe
No.
they're.
Golden
It's
State
not
Why
like-
would he in Rappaport?
it's
He's
not
a
like-
reputable guy.
but
That
no,
tweet
it's not-
has some
Darryl
legs.
Bevell did.
No,
It's not like a fun city
I don't know
to
why he
visit
would.
or like it's not even a cool city. Like
Let me
there's
throw
nothing
this one
positive.
poll because they did this poll. Would and I know where I stand with this. I want to see where you guys do because it was crazily it was 50-50. If Detroit wanted him and he wanted out, and I don't think he does, but hypothetically, would you take their first draft pick in compensation for him? Because that was the debate, and crazily, a couple guys thought about it and said, "I might do that."
No.
And then they would.
I might because I think that the team is
Because
more
the guy-
peak culture.
Everybody wants the guy that's behind Schneider. He's getting interviewed for GMs, but I don't want to do that. But there was people that actually were going to like, okay, we'll take the 8th pick.
Isn't it fair to
Kind
say
of like
that-
they did with Lou Piniella, if anybody remembers that from the Mariners.
I'd think about it for a while.
where they got
I'm not
Randy
saying I would, but
Myers
I'd think
for
about
San
it.
Diego
Oh, I would
because Lou
definitely
wanted
think about
out.
it.
So it was just kind of a crazy theory I wanted to run by you guys and see what you
I wouldn't
thought.
entertain it
crazy.
until he came to me and said, "Hey, I
I
want
want
out."
Schneider.
But have you guys ever been to Detroit?
It's shithole.
It's
I
terrible.
was at Detroit one time, and we
That was
stopped for
it.
gas. And I swear to God, there wasn't a building within eyesight that hadn't been burnt in some way, shape, or form. It was rough.
That's crazy.
I haven't been there.
Let's jump in.
Let's do
yeah,
it.
Rams Hawks.
Rams, Hawks.
Hawks.
Who's,
Third time's the charm.
Who's happy about the Seahawks being favored in this game by
3.5?
points?
Yeah.
3.5.
I like it.
All right.
You like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I think
I take
Fool
the
me
Hawks.
once,
I take the
shame on
Hawks.
me.
Yeah. I think the big factor in this game is the O-line is completely healthy, and when that's happened for Seattle, they're 5-0.
Adams is a question mark.
Yeah.
He said
that's
he's
the
all
hard
in.
part.
He already said it today. He's in. He's going
It
to
is,
play.
but he's not going to be 100%. The shoulder's banged up. It's been.
I
he's-
agree with B-Hole.
He's
The
going to
fact
play,
he's
but
not gonna be
he's going to be
100%.
banged up. But Goff, if Goff does
If
play,
Goff plays.
if he plays, that thumb's going to bother him. And if he doesn't, I mean, 3.5's not enough. Like the Hawks are going to cover that.
I mean,
I've liked how this team has played against the Rams this year. The Rams don't look like themselves. I think that everybody's seen the plays what he's going to do, how they attack.
All 6 of
I heard-
McVay's plays.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, going into that, who's number one in football play action? The Rams at 189 times. I mean, that just exactly what you talked about last week. That's what they are. That's
Well,
what
and they
do.
lost Henderson, didn't they? Or whoever.
but
Akers
that's-
doesn't matter.
Akers, yeah,
Akers is
and
the, he's
Henderson.
playing.
I got-
Akers is a go.
Is he?
Yes.
So this week I'm actually not going off the top of my head. I actually, wrote some stuff
Whoa,
down.
whoa.
Yeah.
You can't study before this. That was the
Right.
rule.
So I wrote some
got a
stuff
notebook
down
and
here
everything?
on the Rams. I'm just going to give you a couple things here. I'm not going to say you guys are wrong about the Hawks covering 3.5 here.
Well, I haven't made my pick yet.
Okay,
but
cool. All right, Rams
go ahead.
first in points allowed. All right, second in sacks. First in
Oh, their defense is stout.
in pass yards allowed.
Yeah.
First in total touchdowns allowed.
Yep.
Look at DK's production when he's played the Rams.
Okay,
It's trash.
they've had 11 sacks against the Seahawks in 2 games. That's correct number. 11. They've
I'll
got that.
I'll even piggyback on
That's
that.
pretty close to probably the
Seahawks
average, though, against the Hawks.
The Seahawks have allowed
No.
the 27th most
They're
sacks in the league at 27 exactly.
Yeah.
The Seahawks, the only thing that they've got going for them in this game is that they're 5th in rushing and 4th in attempts. And if they can control the ball and then they can keep the Rams offense off the field, they might be able to win and cover the number. But all things considering is they're not going to be able to pass the ball and they're not going to be able to score a ton of points.
But their defense has looked extremely solid
I
the
think
last few
fourth
weeks.
quarter Russ gets unlocked in the first quarter this week.
And-
I think he's going to
well,
use his
okay,
legs
so
a lot.
I think if you couple the fact that the Rams offense has not been itself and Goff, if he plays, is banged up. If not, who knows who the
I'm
fuck
not
they
worried
got.
about that side of the ball. The
I'm not
game
either.
is
That's-
on the other side.
that's
Can
my-
we get to 21 points because that wins the game?
I don't know if we even need to, though.
Does it?
17?
No, I'm with
you
Brandon.
think 17 gets it done?
Yeah, look.
The Rams scored 10,
at Seattle,
13 maybe?
at
Then it's a
Seattle-
win. They'll
at-
get 17.
This
at
is the
Seattle.
playoffs, guys. This is a different game. I'm not trying to interrupt.
It is.
This
it
is
is.
the playoffs.
I get that. And McVay's a smart dude.
This is not the second game that we just. This is not 2 weeks ago.
Seattle's
This
very
is,
healthy.
This
coming
is
into
for
game.
their season. They are not coming in to score 17 points and expect to win this game. They are playing to score at least 27 to win this game against the Seahawks.
I think Russ
That's
goes-
the number. If the Rams get to 27 and they carry the ball 25 times,
The Rams get to 27?
Yeah, if they do,
no,
the game's
they
up.
won't.
I mean,
It's over.
Hey, if the Rams scored 60, they'd win too, but they're not going to.
okay.
It just seems like I think if Seattle can get to 21,
I just think that we're really overlooking the matchup. And
I don't think so.
Okay.
the
Here's,
over-under's at 42.5 for a reason. They don't expect a lot of points.
Yeah.
so the way that this looks, if you look at their last 5, Rams were really not scoring any points. They scored 18 at Arizona. They're banged up and not Arizona.
Seattle's
9 with Seattle. I just don't see them scoring a whole lot, and that was with
Goff.
that game
Seattle's the
against
number
Seattle,
1 D
yeah.
the last 6 weeks. They've been crazy good.
So you got a good D and a good O on one side of the ball.
And then the best defense in football in the Rams. I'll
Yeah.
give them
Yeah,
that. That's the number 1 defense.
and a really good offense in Seattle when we're playing. I mean, it depends on which rush shows up. But then you've got a subpar to par. I mean, not a good offense in the Rams and a top fucking defense in the last 6 weeks in the Seahawks. So I think that side of the ball, honestly, is the tail of the tape. Our offense,
Daryl Taylor's coming back. By the
our
way.
offense
Goff's
is
finally
out.
gonna
get to
It's
see
a Clash
him.
of Titans. Don't get me wrong, but
Jared Goff's reported is out right now.
it's not
That's
even
from last
about
week, the
Goff.
injury
Goff
reports.
might be the handicap to the Rams. Who knows? I'm not saying that this Wofford guy is gonna, be awesome or Wolford or
We don't know.
You
We've got
doesn't
I saw
matter.
enough last week. He's more athletic, but he's not going to be better.
If
than
they
what
can
a
run the
healthy
ball,
Goff
if they
would
can
be.
run the ball, they have all the tools to hold the Seahawks offense down below their averages, which puts them in jeopardy. The only thing that
They're not
Seahawks-
gonna run the ball.
The only
we got Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, and Brooks.
4th in the
Right.
league against the
I-
run.
I got that right here. Yep. 5th rush D total, 4th in total attempts allowed. So not only are they holding teams down, they have discouraged teams from even trying to run the ball.
And Jamal Adams. I mean, he's a safety, but he's extremely good.
He's a
in the
weapon.
box. He's a weapon.
We got to give
self-proclaimed weapon.
Yes.
huge credit has got to be given to Jordan Brooks.
Yeah.
Has to be. Look at that draft class with Damian Lewis, Jordan Brooks, and then Daryl Taylor's going to play this week, so we'll see
We
what we
haven't
get
seen
there.
him though, but we have seen Jordan Brooks.
Right?
I think
he
honestly,
destroyed George
real quick,
Kittle
though,
last week on a play.
If you're
and-
just looking at
and
Seattle,
blew up Wilson.
If you're just looking at Seattle and picking a defensive player of the year for that team, I think it's KJ Wright.
Oh, yeah, you're right on with that. Yes.
Knock
Knock on
on
wood if you're
He's
with me.
the under-
KJ
yeah,
Wright, yeah.
he's the
Oh my
underrated player.
God, he's
for
been
me.
excellent.
I think the draft. Who brought up the draft of Jordan Brooks sparking a fucking fire under KJ
He
Wright?
said he heard the noise about.
last
He
week,
said
yeah.
he heard the noise about getting let go for Clowney, and that pissed him off. He said that today on the radio.
And he
So
has shown
he should have been.
that
He
he
got
is
snubbed
fucking
in the Pro
invaluable.
Bowl.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's a good player still.
He's shown he is
Spider-Man.
worth every dollar.
All right,
Every
He's
red
a Ring
snap.
of Honor guy, but
So I go Hawks.
I'm
Showtime.
Hawks.
Hawks. Table fucking locked.
no,
do
Nick's,
it, Nick.
Nick's. What do you
Do it, Nick.
Who are you picking, Nick?
Pick against us.
I don't want to do it.
Fucking do it, bud.
I'm not gonna pick
Because
against
you know
us.
you're
All right.
wrong if
The
you
Rams
do.
just
I'm
aren't going to be
saying
able to
I
score
don't-
points.
I'm just saying I don't feel good about it.
Well, of
That's
course not.
all.
But do
I
you think
mean,
the Hawks can get to 20? If you
Listen.
think that, then they win easy.
Look, this is
not
a,
easy,
listen,
but
this isn't a homer show. This is a sports betting show.
yes, 3.5 is
All
a tough
right?
number.
I'm just saying, as a divisional game with a lot of unknowns and a lot of things that are going well for the Rams on defense, and with a motivated Aaron Donald.
Yeah, he called us out.
Right, and we give up a lot of sacks as it is. You can't in the playoffs. You can't afford to put
A
yourself
lot of
in
those
bad
sacks
positions.
are on Russ, though.
Right.
That number's deceiving. That's him
And he's-
holding the
and
football
correct
too
me
long.
if I'm wrong. Russ is playing in this game, right?
But this offense, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's my point.
Wait.
Is that
Russ is playing?
right?
He was different
Okay.
with this offensive line.
But,
This offensive line is only played 5
I'll
games
pick
together.
the Hawks, okay, but I'm going to leave you with this stat, okay? Russell Wilson has only a losing record to one NFL franchise
Yeah, it's
since
the
he came
Rams.
into the league, and it is the St. Louis Los Angeles Rams. He does not have a winning record. So
What's the current record? What's it stand?
I think it's 9-10.
Well, he's going to be 500
9 and
after this
11.
week.
500.
It's
I
a
think-
tough game. The Rams games always look the same. Ugly. You don't like it. Even when we had the Super Bowl year, when we went to St. Louis, they had a backup fucking quarterback. We had to stop a fade at the end of the
Right.
game to even get out of there alive.
Right.
I felt dirty with a win.
We held
the
him
Rams
to
are terrible.
we held him
I
to
hate
9
playing
points
them.
this season during the regular season. Though.
Sure, I get it. It's not the regular season. It's a different animal. Did anybody think last year the Vikings were going to go and run down the
No,
Saints
they
in their
could
own
beat
building?
us. Of course.
Anything can happen.
It's any given
Anything can
Sunday for a
happen,
reason.
But,
I
but the
still-
closest thing to playoff football is divisional matchups. So
How did the Seahawks get it done? Real quick. How do we win the game?
Chris
Not by,
Carson.
not by scoring more points, but what's the key to the game?
Yeah, run game.
Is it DK?
no,
Is it Carson?
It's Lockett.
I think it's Carson.
I actually
Is it
do.
the defense?
I actually think it is. I think if
You're
you're
going to attack the
No,
best
look,
player
this-
on defense in
yeah,
the world right
so
now.
look,
and
I'm not
Ramsey?
saying that Ramsey's. I mean, you have to be smart about it, but to have a Richard Sherman type effect to the field as Seahawks fans, you have
Revis,
to
yep.
understand like at how it made Aaron Rodgers look like incompetent because we just avoided that side of the field. And if you're an offensive coordinator going into the mindset of I'm not going to find a way to scheme around this player, then just fucking quit doing your job. In my
I want to
opinion,
attack him as well.
You,
I think you have to.
you have an entire field to play. It doesn't matter fucking how many times you have to show them. If they're gonna put Ramsey on DK, then just fucking call 7-8 go
They
routes
need
in a
some
row.
smoke screens. They
Who
need to
cares?
give him the ball in short
Just get
route
touches.
Sure,
situations.
situations like
Play
that.
bully ball with Ramsey.
Absolutely.
Don't rely on the deep ball.
Because if you break Ramsey,
You break the team.
you break the team.
Right.
You break the secondary,
Sure.
and then the secondary starts playing like shit. They start being like, oh well, As much as I love Troy Hill's games where he's good is because Jalen Ramsey's being equally
This
good.
is going to be won by Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf.
This will be.
I think so.
I hope it is.
big David Moore game.
Yeah, it'll probably be a lunchbox
love it.
game.
It's gonna
It'll
be a
probably be
Will
tight
Dissly
ends.
show.
Yeah, lunchbox game.
And to be honest, in my opinion,
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the tight ends, maybe as a unit, score 2 touchdowns.
So
They
look,
probably will.
This is the way
Greg
I look
Olsen.
at it. This is a big game for DK Metcalf if he has 6 catches.
Remember what he did in
and
his
he's
rookie
75
debut at
yards.
Philly?
It's a legacy game already for him.
6
He
catches,
already-
75 yards.
To think that he
big
broke
game.
Largent's record in his second year is just
in
crazy.
his
to me.
second year. A record that has stood for how many years? 30?
35.
35 years?
To the man who said that the 3-cone
Oh, hey,
shuffle
real
should be
quick.
involved in the NFL draft.
We should
Thank
have,
you.
as Seattle homers, done this before, but hey, cheers to Lockett and DK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100 grabs for Lockett,
Record-breaking
1,000,
record
10
for both of
touchdown.
them in one game. That's fucking cool. I like that shit. All right, moving on.
Moving on. I think we got the first other playoff game. Whew, excuse me, the beer was good.
Colts, Bills.
Yep.
Bills by 100. in Buffalo.
Not so fast, my friend.
Phillip Rivers playing in Buffalo.
Yeah, it's happened. He's played some games in the road before that haven't really gone with
Their
him.
running back though, Jonathan Taylor, is that who it is?
That's their only
Yes.
path to victory.
That
I think the Bills
he's a
win.
stud. He's a fucking stud.
But they've been so explosive the last 6 games.
It's been crazy.
And
I
that's
was a
the one.
non-believer.
And that's a big weakness with the Bills. They're 25th against the run. They're not good in the red zone.
The Bills' rushing is absolutely horrendous, but who the fuck cares
cares?
if you have Stephon Diggs with 127
I wouldn't be surprised.
receptions?
You know what's
Josh
crazy?
Allen's going to be the leading rusher this
No,
game.
they're
Okay, well, here's the thing with Allen.
agree with
that's
that
crazy
statement.
because
For the Bills at least.
as Seahawk fans, I
He
feel
might be overall in the game.
Maybe.
right.
I'm
Tight game.
gonna lock the Bills again.
6.5.
6.5.
First
I'm doing
home
it.
playoff game in
First-
Buffalo since
you know how
1996.
How rock
now.
hard those dudes are going to come out of that fucking tunnel.
There's going to be fans, I think, for the first time in Buffalo too.
Cuomo is allowing 6,500.
Hey,
I thought I heard.
I'll bet my coconuts from last week.
Dude, these Stephon Diggs numbers are crazy, by
They
the way.
are.
127 catches, 1535 in yards. He's won in both of those, by
I
the
know.
way.
They got an absolute value at signing him.
I mean, unreal. Clearly the best receiver in football, just with the numbers alone, right?
Oh, he's
His
amongst-
touchdowns
he's
aren't
amongst
very
them.
good, which is crazy.
Yeah, this is a
So
really
the-
hard game for me to pick.
It is a tough game to pick because I think
It's
that
a lot of
Rivers has
points.
got a lot of experience and he's got a team that's built on the running where it takes a lot of pressure off of him. But I've talked about all year long how I don't believe that Rivers is going to go on the road and win you a game as the manager guy.
Yeah, old man Rivers.
So I'm going to stand by
the
that.
high is going to be 31.
Some
that,
bitch.
The high is
Yeah.
going to be 31 that day. It's going to be sunny, so Josh Allen's going to be able to throw the ball without any
I still
inhibition.
think the Colts are dangerous here. This
But
is not a layup. for the
Phillip
Bills.
Rivers in 31-degree weather. When has he been? I mean, he played in San Diego and then moved to a dome.
Well, there's no dome this weekend.
It's 31 fucking degrees, Phil.
It should actually be a lot colder. You would normally when I think Buffalo this time of year, this should be a
Minus 30.
fucking snow game.
It's
This
gonna be
should
sunny.
nasty.
It's gonna be sunny.
Kind of weird, but
It's fucking global warming.
here's what I will say with this game. From the Bills, they have a lot of advantages. They throw the ball deep, 4th in the league at 20-plus yards.
with
per
a high
throws.
success rate.
Yes. And the Colts are terrible against deep passes. So in their pass D's 21. So clearly I think Allen's going to kind of torch them.
4 touchdowns.
Bills had most points scored in the AFC this year at 505.
Which
But
is crazy with
the
the Chiefs,
Colts, their big thing is the run game, and that's where the Bills are weak. So on that thing, maybe the Colts can slow the game down. Maybe Allen in his first playoff game. I mean,
It's
it's
going to be a check
different
down
level.
Charlie type of game for Rivers.
I mean, this is going to be a big game
Pittman
for.
Jr. is their only hope at getting over the top in this game. And
I like that Pascal guy. They've got some nice big Mo Alley Cox. I don't know if he's playing.
Look-
But here's the other thing I wanted to say.
they have an experienced
The
quarterback.
Bills have some injury problems.
They got a good
Beasley might not play. He's week to week, they're saying. And McKenzie, the guy that replaced him last week, had 3 total touchdowns. And I didn't even know who Isaiah McKenzie was, but he had 2 TDs through the air. He had a punt return, and he's questionable.
And
right.
so is Stephon Diggs.
Right. Diggs already said he did the Jamal Adams thing and said, "Yeah, I'm going to play." So he's going to play come hell or high water. But that could be a potential problem.
Could be a big
and 6.5.
Big Naheem Hines
Well,
game
hey,
too for the
Colts.
You know
to be
what?
honest,
I'm fucking crazy here. I'm going with the Colts.
No, you're not.
to
I've been on that
cover or
train.
to win.
To cover. No money line to cover this.
You know what? It feels kind of weird because I've been riding that Colts bandwagon and their
I
defense.
do think
all,
the Bills win the game.
all season long, but the last several weeks, what the Bills have fucking shown, it's just it's next level. And Josh Allen gets better every week. It seems like literally every week is just a progression for him.
So here's what's crazy with Allen is because when I think that too, I think, God, this guy's impressive. Probably the 3rd best quarterback this year. But Russ has better numbers than him. So maybe I'm too hard on Russ. He's got 37 touchdowns, 10 picks. Allen does. Russ has
40
all
came in the first
and 13.
first 8 weeks though.
But
You
the
know what I
numbers
mean?
don't feel that way. When I think of Allen, this Bills team could be the number one. They look like the number 1 team in football coming into the playoffs. You can't come in any hotter than the Buffalo Bills.
And the reason you feel that way, I think, is because Russ's are kind of skewed. He came out so fucking hot. And has just kind of petered out the last few weeks. So we're living in a world where we've seen the last 4 weeks of Russell Wilson and the Seahawks, and it's just like.
But look at the defenses Russ has had to go against. though.
And
fucking
that's-
A.
I'm
He's
not-
got the Rams again
I'm not
this
minimalizing
week.
him. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that's, I think, why everyone's like, oh,
Yeah.
Allen's fucking such hot shit because he has been recently.
look great.
We're the type of people who live in the fucking here and now, right? And so you see the sample size for the last 2 weeks, and that's what your fucking
He had a strong
your vibe
closing
is.
argument for MVP.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did. Mahomes took the week off,
I hate
and
that Aaron
but
Rodgers is
Rodgers
gonna get it.
did
I
what he
hate that.
Do you guys
he
value
took the
the
one seed.
numbers or the eye test more?
I'm
test.
kind of an eye test guy.
I think you're right. I
Yep.
think the eye test
Yep.
is ultimately what wins the
And the
award.
Bills look like number one. If I use the eye
has
test,
the numbers just equivalent to Allen.
I'd say maybe Green Bay. I'd say Green Bay Bills if you were looking at things just straight eye test right now,
Anyway.
who you'd pick. But
I guess in this game here, with the Bills scoring the most points in the AFC, the only thing that the Colts have going for them is that they're second in overall defense
Their
against
defense
the
is
run.
good.
Well, that's not going to work for them in this game.
No, because
the Bills don't run the ball. They are seventh in passing touchdowns allowed, but I've seen what the Bills have done to good defenses. They just showed you what they did to a desperate team that needed to get in and make the playoffs last week in the Dolphins.
In a good defense, too, with the Dolphins.
With only 6.5, that's only a touchdown. Give me the Bills. I'll take the 7.
Yep.
Give me that.
Yep.
Who else? Who wants
I'm
some
with-
of that action? Come on.
I'm with Q.
Yeah, we've got a split table here.
Yeah,
I like
I'm
it.
with Q. I think that this is going to come back to not being able to. First, if Indianapolis gets the ball to start the game and it's a 10-minute drive, you're the Bills. You're like, fuck! I've been on the
Jared,
sideline.
You yourself have had the Blankenship. You've had Z Rodrigo.
Yeah.
Z Rodrigo is the perfect weapon in this game. Rodrigo no useful because
Rodrigo no useful.
He'll be
because field goal
fine.
no beat to Josh Allen and the Bills.
I don't.
They need a touchdown.
I mean, the Bills secondary is very good. So Rivers, I don't think is going to go off. I just think Jonathan Taylor, Naheem Hines. It's
Yeah.
going to be a lot of that.
They're
Slow
gonna-
the game
Colts are
down.
gonna manage the
down.
game.
Josh
They're-
Allen's going to have his fucking park on
the
if it was
Bills are gonna
cold
win the game.
watching.
Allen will
Yeah.
go and win the game. Rivers will manage the game.
We'll win the points.
Tre'Davious White, is he?
Oh, he's a great player.
He's not hurt or anything.
No,
he's good.
They're
right? Okay,
secondary.
yeah.
Him and Poyer are playing. I think they're
Tre'Davious White's a stud.
yeah
No, I
top
I think
5
the-
pass D
You
for a
already
reason.
laid
Jordan
out the
Po-
reason to pick the Bills. This is their first home game in 26 years.
There's going to be no pressure in this game.
Wait, Q, you're kind of arguing for my point here.
Maybe
Here,
there's
can I-
pressure, but isn't there pressure on Philip Rivers?
6.5's a lot of fucking points. I'm not picking
Here,
them
look.
to win the
Ready
fucking
for
game.
this?
It's going to be
Alright.
close.
Third eye, right there, just touched into the universe. Okay, this is going to be the staple for Josh Allen to be like everyone's MVP. They're going to be trailing going into the fourth quarter,
Yep.
17-14 with Indianapolis up. Indianapolis drives down, scores 20-14, and then he gets to lead the fourth quarter comeback, and Josh Allen wins the game. I think Buffalo wins. I just think Indianapolis keeps it.
What do you
rolling.
think of the number? 51 and a half.
I was going to say over under at 51, 51 and a half.
Oh, I'm under.
I'm going to go under.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be close to that number. I think I don't know if I put any money on the
If
over under
both
on
teams
this.
are tight, points will be scored. Over.
This isn't weeks 18. This is the playoffs. There will be some tightness
My
in
point
these
is,
games.
how many
That
points?
always is.
How many
Will go
points do you
overs.
think the Colts are going to
Mistakes will
score?
be made.
No.
Coverages will be blown.
How many points do you think the
Plays
Colts are
will
I
going to
just
score?
told you what I think the score is going to
I
be.
think
It's
the
going to be a
Colts max
21-17
B-hole
type
score
game.
24.
20.
24 for the Colts?
Yeah.
You think they put 24 up?
I said max.
Max. I think they put 17 up. I think you're right there. I think the
I'd give
Bills.
them 20.
I think the Bills score 28 easily.
I think they scored 21.
I think it's 34, 24.
25 and a half. I take the under.
There's going to be
All
some
right, all
missed
right,
PATs that matter.
So, no, that's my pick. I take Colts.
Next on the docket, we've got the Tom Brady-led Buccaneers against
I
the
like
Washington football team.
They're out.
Al Michaels and
Mike
Chris
Evans,
Collinsworth
yeah?
said Redskins on the
They're
broadcast.
playing in
they
Washington.
were good boys.
They're playing in Washington.
They were sauced up. I loved it.
Great. I like that Michaels called that out.
was
Don't
By the
expect
way,
me
he's
to
a
get
Giant
off.
fan.
Don't expect me to get off the bandwagon right now or anytime soon.
8.5 points is a lot of points.
Football team is the
those-
fucking dangerous team
Yep.
out of all teams.
For
right
those of
now.
you that tuned into last week's show, Jared is absolutely loving the football team in the playoffs.
Their defenses, I'm loving it. They're top 5 in almost every fucking category.
Well, Chase
They're
Young's
just
a killer.
unreal.
You
What if I
also-
told you Sweat had more sacks than Chase Young? Would
What
that
did
blow
I
your
say
mind?
last week?
But
That
we've got,
point exactly.
Real quick, how foolish are we to forget playoff Tom Brady?
Oh no.
New team.
Oh, no,
New
team.
system.
Oh, no.
That does not matter. That does not matter. That man.
I think
locks
the
in.
Bucks need to use a lot of Ronald Jones if they want to win this
That
game.
man locks in on during the playoffs. though.
Tom Brady can be as
It's
good
going
as
to be
he
an uglier
wants to
game
be.
than I think people think.
Arians is gonna fuck.
We know about that
this
field.
team
Somebody's
out of the
ACL is
playoffs.
not making it out alive in that football team's field.
So
It's
I'm going to
terrible.
take the points and the Washington football team.
I
will
love
say
the
that.
points.
I will say that a lot of points.
8.5.
8.5 is
For
a
a-
big fucking
We
number.
saw this when the Saints
But-
came in at 10-point favorites when the
on
Hawks
that
were 7
field
and 9.
against a really good defense and a bunch of hyped up kids that
No, I
can't
agree.
believe they're playing Tom Brady in a fucking playoff game.
I have the vibe that Jared
Guys.
thinks they're going to win outright.
I like
They
that.
are.
And I don't think they're going
This
to beat
is
the Bucks.
the most. This is the team they're playing with house money.
Right.
Ron Rivera is going to give a pregame speech of I
Right?
beat
Halftime
cancer.
speech.
You can beat Tom Brady.
A third quarter speech.
And this is going
Here's
to
what-
be.
here-
Tom Brady is going to get knocked down so
I'm
many
going to get
times in
everybody
this
even
game.
more excited. I got some great shit here.
Tom Brady is
Oh,
going to get
Hugh's got
knocked
it.
down so many times because Arian's going
Hold
to
on.
try and go downfield. In my opinion, correct me if I'm
Yeah,
wrong,
yeah.
and you go. But in my opinion, this is going to be a situation where all year long Tampa Bay's look good when they're able to go downfield. This game, they're not going to be able
10-4.
to. As soon as Tom
And
Brady
no
takes,
Mike Evans. No Mike Evans.
if Tom
Yeah.
Brady drops back 5 steps or tries to roll, Montez Sweat, Chase Young, and they're down as
Are
fucking
we even
throw.
considering what Antonio Brown? I'm sorry
Well,
to interrupt.
we
you.
haven't talked to the other side of the ball because the Bucs D is badass, right? Against
Right.
the run. But,
It is.
But as Rivera would say, they're not a run-first football team. They pass first. And they've got an advantage when they do that. They got Logan Thomas. They got Terry McLaurin. Also,
Logan Thomas is their tight end, right?
right.
That's
he's
a bad man.
Yeah,
He's a
and McKissick
savage.
and Antoine Gibson.
He's a
and
bad man.
You don't want to play this team.
The Bucs have
You
a
don't-
20th pass-rated D. Okay, they don't do good against the pass. Now they do sack the shit out of you. And
Who
they've
had a
got
bit-
monsters on that with their defense is really
Shaq
good.
Barrett.
And Alex Smith is not mobile.
Here's a fun
Not at
one.
all.
Who had a better
But
year?
he's savvy.
They're 5-1
doesn't take many
since he's
hits
been the
now.
starter.
I mean, think about how he feels.
He's savvy. He's a savvy veteran.
You know.
I mean, it's just crazy because Mike Evans had a great year at 70 receptions, 1,000 yards,
Is he-
13
is he
touchdowns.
playing?
He's not going to play.
He's
He's already
I'm
out.
pretty sure he's done. It says questionable, but I don't think he's playing.
If you watch the
McLaren,
play, from what Jared told me, he ain't playing.
it didn't look
So
good.
Scotty Miller's going to go off.
Antonio
maybe.
Brown scored 3 touchdowns last week, didn't he?
Antonio Brown could.
He's Antonio Brown.
I mean, it could
still.
easily. It's just 8.5.
Nah.
I'm going with the football team.
Lock
I'm taking
it.
the points in the football team too.
I'm locking it.
But the Bucks are
Locking
gonna
the
Bucks are gonna
football
win the
team.
game.
I'm definitely on the points. Yeah, there's no question about that.
Straight up.
Yeah, I like your confidence. I don't think you're wrong. I mean, the football team has a lot of things going for them that take a
8.5
lot
points.
of the strengths that like you mentioned, the deep pass that Brady likes to use. And the other thing is that Brady always had good backs to dump off to. He doesn't anymore.
They don't catch the ball good on there.
No.
That's the one thing that Jones and Fournette don't do. They don't have hands.
But here's the thing that the Bucks have going for them is that the football team doesn't score a lot of points.
Do you guys think this is Brady's last season?
No.
He had 40 touchdowns and 12 picks.
Exactly.
I mean, he had that at his age.
Is he bored?
He looks bored at times.
That'd be the only reason he'd
he's
retire.
playoff Tom though.
He's not losing this game.
Is this a one-year
He's just
contract?
going to win it by 7, I
I
think.
don't remember.
Oh no, it's not a 1 year.
He'll go down and
Tom Brady would not
Brady
sign
will
him.
go down and win this game
Maybe.
late.
I don't think it is. I could be fucking wrong. I don't.
Maybe
I,
we-
Bro,
Well,
if Tom Brady is available this year, Jerry Jones is at his house in a push-up bra saying, "What can I do to earn your services
hey
this
Tom,
weekend?"
you like what you see, Tom?
Tom, I'll do anything you want. You ever been to Dallas? Look, Giselle's gonna love it.
You ever
It's
been to
beautiful.
Dallas in the springtime?
We have big malls, no masks, everything's open. You can come on down. Jerry World is free. We're bringing fans in. Hey, let me ask you this, Tom. Have you been the number one selling jersey for a long time?
That's the quote of the night. We got big malls and no masks.
Look, Tom, your jersey's been number one selling for a long time, regardless of where you've been. I've been the number one selling franchise for a long time. Why don't we
And we
come
don't
together?
win.
Imagine what we could do together, Tom.
don't win.
Look, they don't win and they still fucking sell.
I'll pay you
We're worth
tons
so
of
much money for nothing.
Tons of money. You want to pick how we draft?
You know how he gets Tom? Hey Tom, are you tired of Giselle making more money than you?
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
could change
true.
that tomorrow.
No, I'm just saying. I
Sounds
like the Washington.
Sounds like we're all on the football team for the
Enough for that rabbit trail.
for the 8.5.
Fun
there.
enough. So going into Sunday.
There.
Oh, we got the Ravens and the Titans rematch. This time it's in Tennessee, and the Ravens come in at 3-point favorites. This
In
Give me the
Tennessee.
Titans.
Yeah, Titans.
This is the one game that I don't like the number.
Hold on, real
Yeah,
quick though.
Again,
I will say that Derrick Henry does not have Earl Thomas to block for him this time.
this is true.
2,000 yards. That man had 2,000 fucking yards.
You think he breaks Dickerson's record next year?
That's
No.
the thing with the Titans. That's crazy.
big
Is
record.
offensively they're just out of this world. With Brown,
AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Johnny Smith,
He's like-
Corey Davis is their third fucking guy, and
He's
then of
like
course
DK Metcalf's little brother. AJ
They're just
Brown.
all
It's
huge.
He's a man.
Tannehill's been out of his mind this year. He's been great. It's
So-
just the other side of the ball is where the
In the game, I'll walk you through the game that they played. Right.
Right.
So
And they beat-
Tannehill,
this is a
Tannehill threw for 260. He had 31 attempts and completed 22 of them, and they were down 21-10 in the third quarter
Yep.
before Tannehill was the one who brought them back. Derrick Henry finished them off in the play in the overtime,
yeah.
with the touchdown run, but it was Tannehill who engineered the comeback. Here's the things that I don't like since that game, because that was in the middle of the
This
year.
defense is
okay?
horrible.
Titans
32.
are 32 in the league in sacks.
32nd.
And the Ravens, they run the ball incredibly well. They don't even need to pass the ball to win.
Dude, J.K. Dobbins.
And I'm telling you, if you can't get
He's
to
emerged.
6 yards
If you
per
can't get to
carry.
Jackson,
That's
the
not
guy-
he had 6 yards per carry.
J.K. Dobbins
this is a different Baltimore
turned
team
out to
this
be a
game.
good pick for them.
I don't know if I really think that they're going to win the game, though. It's really tough for me to see because Tennessee.
We've seen this matchup, and it's
Yeah.
always the other way. The numbers
They
point
pound it out.
Baltimore, but my eyeball, going back to that, it's Titans. I just see them pounding them,
pound 'em
laughing
out.
at them, stomping them out.
They might even
But the
sign.
numbers say go Baltimore. I don't even know.
Yeah.
It
They
doesn't
might-
make sense.
The Titans honestly might even sign Earl Thomas to play fullback this game.
I agree.
Just a thought. I mean,
Here's-
Can they get his? They get his
Vrabel,
brother,
if you're
too, 'cause
listening, Vrabel,
he's
if you're
a
listening,
tag team match.
that's true. You put them both in there, and they're going to take
The
on
thing
one.
is,
one
I don't
guy
know why
real
the
well.
Ravens. I don't know why the Ravens don't run the ball good against Tennessee. The numbers should show they should, but Lamar had a shitty game against them last time they played. He looked terrible, and they got busted out.
How
The whole
long ago
reason
was
they-
that, though?
That was 9 weeks.
The whole
ago.
reason they got
They're
eliminated
a
in the
different
play.
team than they were
Yeah.
nine
They got
weeks.
eliminated in the
9 weeks
playoffs
ago.
by the
That
Titans
team will
last year
come
when they
back.
were the hot shit. So this is a chance for them to get their mojo
They
back.
lost to him last
It's a-
year.
I'm
it's
picking Baltimore.
I am
I'm going
too.
to go against the eyeball.
I'm going Baltimore too, just because I think there's a huge fucking chip on their shoulder.
Baltimore's last 5 is Dallas, Cleveland, Jacksonville, New York Giants, and
They beat
Cincinnati.
bums.
So that's a really different team. Here's the problem. Do you know what's really fun to watch and makes everyone really excited? When your leading passer is also your leading rusher. Do you know it never wins a Super Bowl title?
That combo.
No.
Because if it does, Mike Vick would have had one.
10-4.
So Lamar Jackson is electric. He's fun to watch in football.
He's their leading rusher, but J.K. Dobbins wasn't getting the rock the first fucking 8 weeks.
This is true, and J.K. Dobbins is definitely a factor in this game.
How many
you
yards
guys
did J.K.
said.
Dobbins have last week?
I want to bring up a
on-
point that last year in the playoff
hold
game,
on real quick.
Mark
How-
Ingram was hurt.
how many
and
yards
they
did-
didn't have an effective rushing game.
How
against
many
the
yards did
Titans.
J.K. Dobbins have last week?
Against the
Almost
Cincinnati
150,
Bengals.
It's an NFL team.
The
Look at
Cincinnati
the number, though.
Bengals.
Look at the number real quick.
The Cincinnati Bengals. It was 160.
We
He had
also-
160
Titans
rushing
defense
yards.
is
No,
just
100%.
terrible, though.
He had 160
They are.
rushing yards last week. So
they don't get to the passer either.
Worst in the league
They're
on
bad.
third down.
The
They're
last-
32 and third down.
real quick though, the last 6 weeks, Lamar has not been their leading rusher.
No. Jared's just making a point that the style.
He's
of the
absolutely
team,
right.
The way that the team is built.
I will go back
With the
to also
quarterback
my
maybe
point
being
that I
the number one
said
rusher.
weeks ago when this
But I
game
agree with you.
happened.
It's a different.
It's a different team.
So far, they've played different.
No. This goes back to the point I made weeks ago.
Right.
This comes down to coaching yet again.
I know.
Vrabel's a better coach.
Yes.
Harbaugh
When
sucks.
Vrabel gets
and
a
it's time
defense,
for
this
him to
Titans
leave.
train's going to be
Harbaugh suck.
scary.
Both
We know that
Harbaugh
he's a good
suck.
coach in the playoffs too. 'Cause he-
Vrabel's a G.
and he gets-
Vrabel.
he gets his guys up and ready
Look,
to play.
I think Jim and
It's gonna
John.
be
He's the best Belichick
It's gonna be a
offshoot
simple
there's
game
been.
plan.
Can I take a dive here? Here's my favorite. Here, Vrabel's the Palpatine in this situation.
He really
and
is.
Belichick was
Belichick.
Darth Sidious of the wise.
I
okay?
honestly think though that Jim and John's
Yeah.
mom.
Lingus, I apologize.
I think Jim.
Sidebar.
I think Jim
I
and
knew
John,
where you were going.
Jim and
Thank
John Harbaugh's mom fucked someone who's higher up in the NFL when they were younger
Yeah.
to get them coaching jobs.
Damn.
If I can get my sons ahead in this life, I will.
Yeah.
No, I just
Because they haven't done anything.
There's a lot of people at ESPN who
Tennessee's
feel the same way.
last 5 have been not equally as impressive either, but I do believe in them more in this matchup stylistically because the leading rusher for Baltimore is Lamar Jackson with 1,000 yards, and yes, J.K. Dobbins factors in, but if you add up J.K. Dobbins versus with Lamar Jackson versus Derrick Henry by himself, Derrick Henry still has more yards and more touchdowns, and that's playoff team. That's playoff football. Load it up on the big dude and let him go downfield until there's a team built like the Steelers ready to stop that.
I just think that ultimately, if the game fell down to someone's shoulders, that who do you trust more? Do you trust Lamar Jackson?
Nope.
Or do you trust Derrick Henry?
Derrick Henry.
And I trust Derrick Henry. And you know what? Last week in the game against the Texans, Tannehill showed the read option on back-to-back plays and kept it because the defense collapsed on Henry, and he brings a whole
The whole
different
bench
element
tried
to the game.
tackle Henry.
The eye test tells me the Titans win. The numbers tell me the Ravens win. I'm going with the eye test.
Yep.
Titans.
Titans.
Can't blame you
I'm
on
with
that.
the Titans.
And it's tough, but I don't know. Just what
You're
we've
not
seen.
alone. I see what you're saying.
I'm just
Right.
going numbers.
You're not
I
alone.
want to see what's. Is it analytics? Do we go for 2 here, or we kick the extra point?
Yeah,
I get it. I'm
agree
going
with
Baltimore
a
with the
lot of-
numbers.
I agree with a lot of Brandon's picking. I
I do.
don't think he's
I see
wrong
his
in
point.
picking the Ravens because
I
they
just
could
this
easily win
Titans
the game.
defense is just awful. If it's average, this team could win the
I'm
Super
just
Bowl.
going off
That's
of
how
the
good
eye
I like
test
the
of
Titans.
matchup, and the matchup has looked like it favors the power running game that the Titans have, not the one that the Ravens have.
So
Next.
another split decision.
Yeah.
Then we go Saints Bears.
Bears. Their Bears are
10 points.
minus 10. Oh, that's
Minus
not
10.
good.
Is Dick
That's
going to
for-
play in
That's
this game?
bad, I think, Bob.
Dick is not going to be playing, no. But if he was,
If they
I
had 11
might take
Ditkas,
the
they
ball
might
Here's
win.
who's
cover
not going to be
number.
playing: the guy that's had 140 tackles, and Roquan Smith. He didn't practice today.
That's huge.
He's
That's
for sure
fucking
out.
Dion
huge.
Bush
He
is
didn't
out.
practice
Buster
today.
Screen and
Well, if
Jalen
he's out, that's a
Johnson as
whole
well.
different element to the
Yes.
game. Because if they can't stop the run, they've got no shot.
Because they're not very good against the pass. Believe me, I thought they were. They're 16.
And here's the thing: the Saints got extremely lucky, whether it was coordinated that way or not. But
10 fucking
if they
points,
played
though.
Saturday, Kamara couldn't play. But playing Sunday, he's cleared
there
COVID
was
This team
probably some
played.
favors.
Yeah,
This
that's what I'm
team
saying.
played in Week 8, and it went to overtime. So there is a little bit to that.
There's a lot to a lot.
Okay, 10 points is a lot, but fuck, at home, the Saints.
I think Michael Thomas is playing. I think he's playing. So I think
I
we
take
might.
the Saints.
I think
And
they're taking
Kamara's
the number
playing.
too. I think I feel confident because the Saints had this issue last year with the Vikings coming in. They can't possibly take the Bears for granted. They got to be ready to stomp them out. They already beat them on the road this year.
The Saints
in
have a good
low-scoring,
defense.
bad weather
Excellent
game.
defense.
Yeah.
It's
I like-
underrated of
Yeah, it
defenses.
really
We
is.
don't talk
It
about
really
how
is.
great their defense
Right.
is. They're very good. They were number 1 in DVOA at one
The only
point.
thing is which Saints team is going to be on offense? The Drew Brees team or the Taysom Hill team?
I don't know.
And if there's a problem with one,
Is
are
the
you going to the other?
Is the guy that should have had 8 touchdowns in a game going to be?
Remember-
When Drew Brees is in there, all of a sudden he gets unlocked like
This is
cheat
the
code.
playoffs. Okay, this is a one-game
And they've
elimination.
choked a lot in the playoffs.
You also got to think about the injury standpoint from Drew Brees, and this is the type of injury that takes a little bit of time. And is
It's
a week.
one bad hit, man. One uncomfortable
It-
hit.
it really-
Taysom Hill's not been total garbage.
It is-
He's a
I mean,
fucking weapon.
Any injury is one bad hit, but what I'm saying is, coming out of the tunnel, he's going to feel exponentially better than he did last week. You know what I mean? It's that's the kind of thing
I
that
agree.
an extra 7 days is going to really help with that rib injury.
There's a lot of advances in technology and medicine in the NFL to make you not have to deal with pain for very long. They recover faster than ever now. ACL injuries are 9-month recoveries.
Yeah, back in the
Instead of
70s, the
13
guy's life was over. He was in a wheelchair
Right.
if he had something like that.
I mean, I'm sure that they have the ability to get everybody ready to play, and I think that Breeze is ultimately the guy. All
And
I'm saying is that
Peyton's
if he
scheme
comes
is good.
out and he doesn't look crisp and sharp, and maybe it's a halftime deficit or a close game, and they don't have a good rhythm going,
You don't pull
how do
Drew
you
Brees.
mix in
He doesn't pull
Hill?
him.
Do you
There's going
mix
to be
in
a couple
Hill?
packages here, but you don't. He's not going to pull Drew Brees if he's not injured.
I think Hill leads a different dynamic against the Bears. I think a strong rushing version of the Saints is pretty unbeatable in this matchup. If Roquan Smith is out, that's a lot of tackles that are missing on the field.
Huge.
yeah, that's
deal.
the game
That's
right
an easy
there.
10 points
That's
there.
the 10 points, really.
By the way, we still have to talk about the Bears. How are they going to score?
Well, I mean, Trubisky, as much as we've
Saints
been
have
hard
a
on him,
great
he's
run defense,
got
though.
16 touchdowns,
And
8
that's the only
picks.
thing that they've had going.
Montgomery.
Montgomery's the only thing
Yeah.
they've had going from the last
Trubisky's
few
been
weeks.
playing
So.
better. We all know
They've been
that.
playing a lot of bums, though.
He's been
and we
playing
saw what
better,
they did against
but-
Green Bay.
That was another game that mattered. They backed into the playoffs.
They're 31st in the league in getting third down conversions.
Right, that's
so
bad.
offensively,
Saints.
they don't move the sticks. We've already said the Saints have a great defense.
What's
Yeah.
the Saints? Do you have the number on what their third down conversion rate is? Because I think that they're one of the most efficient third down
They
teams
are.
in the league.
I mean, yes, they're top 5.
They're also one of the most efficient red zone teams in the league, and the Bears pride themselves on holding teams to field goals and making it a slow,
Yes.
sloppy game.
The Bears'
Sorry, I
defense-
feel like J-Rod hasn't had a chance to say anything.
Sorry.
in this
But
rant.
But there's not much to say. The
So,
Saints are going to win by a lot.
I don't, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the only thing the Bears' defense really does do exceptional is they're very good in the red zone. So you're right. If they can make it a field goal game and make it ugly, but it's going to be in New Orleans. If
I'm
it was in
excited about
Soldier
this game
Field, it'd
because-
be different,
I'm excited
Tom.
about this game though because if the Bears win this game, it guarantees that we could get another home game. Because if the Bears end up winning, then
Of course, we're
then
pulling for the
Packers-
Bears, but
then the Packers end up playing them again, and we get a second home game if we win, which is a big deal.
as much as I want the Bears to win, I'm
going
gonna go
to.
ahead and
No.
hedge my bet because I really do want the Bears to win. But I think this is a who dat, and we're gonna have the Saints win in this game. But I'm
Who dat?
okay
Fuck, it
with
ain't
that.
Trubisky.
To be honest, I think that the Saints are. As you go forward, the more hits that he
Drew
has,
takes.
that Drew takes. I mean, you know who else is on the questionable list? Taysom Hill. What do you
Yeah.
do if both guys get?
he had a
banged up?
concussion.
He had a concussion.
Uncle
They say
Jameis.
he did practice
Uncle
today.
Jameis
So
with
then
the
you're
red
gonna have
jersey, I'm
Jameis-
assuming.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, Taysom Hill's a big part of their offense, even with Breeze in there. He's
Yeah.
he's a
He
running
gets
back,
at
he's a
least
quarterback, he's a
Goal
tight
line,
end.
a lot of goal line
Yeah,
stuff.
he's a fucking animal. The thing with the Bears that's crazy is if you can get 10 points right now, I think I'd get it. Because if Smith doesn't play, he's worth a couple points, right? We've already
numbers-
discussed it.
Over under is 47. So
27-20? No.
That's not going to get your cover.
No, but I'm saying
But
the Bears aren't scoring 20.
Yeah, 27-17 is more like your, I like that. 27-13, something like that, and the under. I like the Saints in the cover and the under.
I have to. I don't know.
It's a tough one.
It could be 31
fucking
10,
points.
Jared, and that'd still be under.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's really tough. I kind of have to lean towards Chicago's wanting to make this appear like a closer game. Like, you already screwed yourself.
Some garbage
by getting
touchdown.
Yeah. I don't know
You're
if
right.
it's 10 points. I just have to take the 10 points in Chicago. I don't think they win the game. I don't think it's ever within question, but I totally see it. Saints being up by 2 touchdowns, them giving up a garbage touchdown to blow the cover.
Like what happened last week with
Exactly. I mean, maybe it's just Vietnam moment, flashbacks, but
I think if Roquan Smith plays, that's the play. You pick the Bears, and they'll get some garbage stuff late.
yeah,
I already made my pick. I disagree.
I don't
Saints
blame you.
covering under.
Last
Game is a doozy.
Oof.
A rematch of last week's game, but Ben Roethlisberger will play.
yeah.
The Pittsburgh
The
Steelers
Stellars.
are host this time
Minus
to the
6.
Cleveland Browns. 6-point favorites. Ooh.
What if there's some mind-blowing shit in this game? And the COVID thing comes into this game too, because the number one offensive line by Pro Football Focus is the Cleveland Browns. Now, here's the other thing that's crazy.
TJ Watt.
73 straight games, longest ever in pro football to get a sack, that team. And Watt's got fucking 15 this year. Their defense is fucking crazy.
And there's some hedge bets we'll talk about a little bit later on involving that. Little teaser there. I don't know. This is 6 points. Browns first time in the playoffs in fucking ever.
Feels like 100 years.
I'm not putting money on this game.
And they've got their head coach out with COVID, and their starting guard Batoni is out as well.
Give me Pitt.
Give me Pittsburgh. I forgot about the head coach being out thing. That's bigger than
And
it
they
sounds.
just played.
But Baker is fantastic against the blitz.
And he's fantastic.
Which is crazy. He's got a
loves the
108
spotlight.
rating
The guy
against
loves
the
the
blitz. Nobody blitzes more than Pittsburgh. We've already established that.
Yeah,
they
but
lead in every category defensively.
Can I ask you this?
They crushed them early in the season when it was a real game.
Can I ask you this? Is Ben Roethlisberger worth more than 2 points?
Well, based on the game from last week, yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
the way the
then-
game was played last week, I think if Roethlisberger plays, Pittsburgh
Steelers.
wins.
Right? That's how I look at it. How is it
6
going to be
points,
any
right?
different? You have how many days to change your game plan? This is a normal week, right?
I think we're all
Give me the
rooting-
Browns and the points.
I think we're all rooting.
Fucking give me the Browns and the points.
I'm
going there. 6 points. Give them to me.
I want the Browns to win, but I'm a realist.
This isn't
in
a
this
show
world.
about
This
who
is
you want to win. This is a show about who you're betting your money on to
Bet
win.
my
Pittsburgh.
money on Pitt.
Pittsburgh all
Gimme.
day.
This is
Lock it
championship.
up.
Lock it. This is
I like being the odd man out.
double.
I like being the odd man out.
Don't even think about doing anything.
Browns will
different.
fuck this up. They almost found a way to fuck themselves
This
out of the
is the
playoffs
Steelers versus
against
the
fucking
Browns.
Rudolph.
The Browns just barely limped into their only win against the Steelers in history last week. The last time the Browns made the playoffs, they played the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they were eliminated by the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this year they will be eliminated by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And I'm not necessarily saying that the Browns are going to win outright. I'm taking the points.
Points. I get you. I just think that they will cover the 6 this week.
Yeah, no.
Do you want to get into the teaser?
The teaser.
The
All right, give me a second.
teaser.
So there's ESPN. The fantasy app's got some prop bet stuff. It's their
You guys
playoff.
better log in because there's a chance to win money.
Yeah, there is. It's their
Get these things
Pigskin
right.
playoff pick'em. It's got some. You pick some games. You pick some prop bets. It's kind of cool. So we're all doing it. I created a little group, and we'll go through it each week and figure out at the end of the playoffs who's the more savvy of the 4 of us.
It keeps track.
It definitely keeps track, which
Unlike
is good
me.
because we don't always.
I've actually put the visual on the board.
So first one is a straight up bet. Who will win the matchup? This is a pretty easy one. The Bills and the Colts.
I took Bills.
No points involved. I think we probably all took the Bills,
I took
right?
the Bills straight up.
Bills.
Okay, now prop bet. Colts at Bills. Will Stephon Diggs score a touchdown?
I said yes.
Yes.
I
Do the
said yes
guys
as
at
well.
REI wish they were camping?
Yes, I said yes as well.
All right.
All right.
I'll take Stephon Diggs.
Third prop bet involving quarterbacks from this game and some others. Which of these players will record the most passing touchdowns this round? The options are Josh Allen, Tom Brady, Phillip Rivers, and Russell Wilson.
Homer.
I chose Tom Brady.
I chose Tom Brady as well.
The reason I chose Tom Brady is because I think that the Redskins have the chance to give up the most.
That's true. I took Russ because I believe
I said
that's how we
Redskins.
win.
I'm like Al Michaels.
Phillip Rivers, Josh Allen, or Russell Wilson.
And Tom Brady.
And Tom Brady.
I hated
You know who
Russell
you
Wilson.
picked, Q?
Fuck, I think I went Josh Allen.
I mean, I understand that. I was really torn between Josh Allen and Tom,
Just
but
'cause
I
of that
just
pass D.
I homered it on Russ because I think that's how we win the game.
Next one. Who will win the matchup between the Hawks and Rams? No points involved. I took the Hawks.
Homer. I
I
took
barely
the Hawks.
talked myself into the Hawks.
Prop bet on that game. Who will have more receiving yards, Robert Woods or DK Metcalf?
Yeah, I did pick Robert Woods.
I picked Robert Woods as well. We've got Jalen Ramsey on
I
the other side
picked
of the ball.
DK Metcalf because
Yep.
the only way they win is if that man has a huge game.
Yep, I'm with you. I took DK Metcalf as well. I'm willing it into existence.
God, listen to me say the only way they win is if that guy has a huge
You
game.
know the
But
way
it's
they
true.
win is because
Wrong?
Chris
You're wrong.
Carson pounds
God.
them. It's going to be
That sounds
tight end.
terrible.
2 touchdown
I'm
Disley.
okay with Carson.
Have you
tight
seen
end
Jalen
football.
Ramsey's numbers?
Sorry,
the way he
now
Now
shut
listen,
people off?
listen. Let me
I'm
state.
terrified about that.
You should be.
How do I have to rely on DK against Jalen Ramsey? He's the number one fucking corner in the world in his position.
Do you want to
No,
see
but
these
that's-
fucking numbers?
Hold on, that's not the point. I'm not saying that DK Metcalf needs to have 19 fucking touchdowns in this game or even 200.
18.
He needs to have 6 receptions
80
for
yards.
75 yards. And if he has 6 receptions for 75
He needs
yards,
at least
it's going to
90.
make the team. You can't say you shut him down. If Jalen Ramsey's able to say, I shut him down in the first half, we shut him down
I just
in
want to
second
win.
half.
I don't care if they shut him down. But if he needs to have that, that's what I'm saying. The style of game makes me nervous.
We
You
are-
don't know Pete
we
Carroll
already-
if you think that's going to
we-
be the style of the game. This fucker's going to be
For
ugly.
our listeners'
It's gonna
sake,
be
we already
close.
talked about this game.
I know.
Moving on. Who will win? Bucks, Washington football team. I picked the
I
Bucks.
picked the Bucks as well to win the game.
Washington football team.
Jared and 10% of America picked the Washington football team.
Let's go. That's how
bet.
you win money.
Prop bet based on this game. Buccaneers at Washington. Who will record more receptions? Not receiving yards, receptions. Chris Godwin, Terry McLaurin.
I chose Scary Terry.
Yeah, I went Terry.
I went Godwin. No Mike
Scary
Evans.
Terry.
Yeah, just because I think that Alex Smith checks it down a lot, and they're going to be behind.
For sure. And you got
Easy
Antonio. I can
completions.
see that.
Easy
Who will win the
completions.
matchup between the Ravens and the Titans? No points. I picked the Ravens.
I picked the Titans.
Titans.
Yeah, I went Titans there.
Prop bet. Ravens and Titans. Who will have more passing yards? Lamar or Tannehill?
Tannehill.
Tannehill.
That's an easy
Tannehill,
one.
Yeah, that's an
Yeah,
easy
I
one.
definitely went Tannehill.
Prop bet involving players from this game. Who will record the most rushing yards?
Circled.
Yeah, Derrick Henry's on this list. So
Yeah.
Nick Chubb, J.K. Dobbins, David Montgomery, or Derrick Henry?
Derrick
I think I
Henry.
went Derrick Henry.
Derrick
What
Henry.
dickhead would go David Montgomery there?
2% of America.
2%.
2% of America.
I
Moving
bet you
on.
they're Bears fans.
Moving on.
The Bears.
Who will win the Saints Chicago game? 94% of America, along with all of us, I'm assuming, picked the
Saints.
Saints.
We all picked the Saints.
We're all rooting Bears, but
Okay.
yeah.
Prop bet. Will the Saints score at all in the fourth quarter?
No, will the Saints score in all 4 quarters?
Oh, in all 4 quarters.
I said
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
I said no.
I went yes.
I think they will.
I went no. Fair enough.
Bears are easy pickings.
Next, who will win the matchup? Steelers Browns. I picked Steelers.
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 Okay. Browns Steelers. Who will record more sacks? Miles Garrett or T.J. Watt?
TJ Watt.
I said TJ Watt.
I said Garrett.
I went Watt.
I went Garrett. Cool. And I didn't get the end of it. How many points will be scored in this round? Is that points by all the teams?
Yeah, all teams in this
I
round.
picked 210.
I said 321.
Oh well, I don't. I think I said 46 because I thought it was for the Browns and the Steelers.
You're losing the
only.
tie.
I just went 20 times whatever.
So if
I
there's
ended
a
up
really
300.
if there's a bunch of low scoring games, I'm in good shape.
Yep.
Then it sounds like I think I could go in and alter my pick before we actually get to it.
Kind of cool. And if you guys at home want to play along and kind of keep track of how you stack up against what we do this postseason, just a little fun idea. But yeah, I think it's going to be cool. Each week we'll do
Everybody should. It's on the ESPN app.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's the Zbookies app. You know,
that. No.
it should be.
So the only other football game to talk about,
Oh, is the football game.
the football game,
The
which
football
doesn't
Monday.
have your guys' ever so
maybe.
confident
I-
Clemson.
Yep, I
You know
was
what?
wrong.
Oh,
Started with
hold on,
Jared
because I
throwing
believe.
shade
Yeah,
at
thank you.
me.
Well,
This is my segment.
Did he talk
now.
about Justin Fields?
He picked.
Oh, no,
he
And
picked
about how he
Fields.
was going to be
hold on.
absolutely
Hold
elite.
on.
You called it?
I did.
How he took a shot to the ribs and showed us all like, holy fuck.
No, I
this
said going
kid's
into this game, I said into this game, all that's been talked about is Trevor Lawrence and Clemson and Trevor Lawrence and Clemson. And if Trevor Lawrence wins, does he end his college career? Does he come back for another? I said, no. You guys are overlooking a fresher, younger team that has just as much talent on that field. And Justin Fields has taken this personally.
And you know what? As stout as my prowess is when it comes to college football,
Which has been really good this
I
year.
botched
though.
that call.
You did so good this year.
The thing that's crazy about that is those three teams, Clemson, Alabama, and Ohio State, are on a different playing field than everybody else.
You know who
was
getting
absolutely
close.
right to that because
You know,
Ohio State,
real quick, though-
they all squabble over the 5-star guys.
You know who
That's where
else?
they go.
You know who else really botched a call? The Pac-12 refs when the Beavers played the Washington Huskies.
You know who better not botch a call is be these Pac-12 administrators around the world, and
Get
Larry
rid of
Scott
Larry
better get
Scott.
out of here. If he
Yeah.
gets an extension, or we might not be a Power 5 conference anymore. Has the Pac-12 ever been worse as a conference? We can all unite together.
It wouldn't surprise
Fire
me. It wouldn't surprise
Larry
me.
Scott.
It wouldn't surprise me if he got an extension based
You
on
have no
seeing
idea.
the quality of officiating for that game when the Beavers had the fourth down and they went for it.
If Larry Scott gets extended, do not be surprised if Oregon does this on the Pac-12
I'm beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
and they step off into independent.
We've already talked about that sidebar. The NCAA should just disbar, but we'll talk about that
Yeah.
again later.
So-
Boxing counts.
Get to the game.
championship
Give me the
Two
numbers.
undefeated teams. 8-point spread for the Alabama Crimson Tide from
And the Heisman Trophy winner,
SEC.
Devontae Smith.
Yep, he's big time.
Do you want to just jump
When
in?
was the
'Cause I have a
last
whole bit for him.
non-quarterback to win that award?
Woodson 97?
Do you want me to jump in on this game? Because
That is correct.
I'll
That is
lead in
correct,
here.
Tom.
That is correct,
So
Bob.
look, I really, as much as I love my plus 650, if I played that $100 last week
You did
because
great.
it looks great right now.
You killed it. I think you picked Ohio State to win the whole thing, right?
Yeah, that would be the bet. But
This is going to be the over under is legendary. I've heard because there's I don't know if anybody's
75
yeah it's never been
5.5.
Yeah.
That's Rams.
They don't-
Chiefs
there's no
right there.
defense here.
They don't
To think
call
that
it overtime.
Alabama doesn't have a
They don't
defense
call
is
it
crazy.
overtime.
this is that's
I don't
why
know how you stop Alabama.
there's not a single
You
player
don't.
on Ohio State that's going to stop Devontae Smith. Okay, that's just the
Sean
God's
Wade's
honest
going to try.
You
Sean
can
Wade's
try.
a hell of a player.
Bless your heart. Try as hard as you might. He's not going to.
Good luck, Sean.
And Olave is
Your-
going to have a huge game as well on the other side.
Yeah, I
And
really.
Sermon.
Are we
and
really
Fields.
like? Are we really?
But
all
Alabama
thinking
is in a
Alabama's
class of
gonna
their
kill
own.
them, or is Ohio State just gonna?
It's
are they gonna-
Alabama fucking football.
I think
man.
Ohio State gives them a game.
I hope.
I
as
think
viewers,
Alabama wins by a touchdown.
What are the
and a
points
half.
on this?
10 point win.
Eights for Alabama.
Think of how fucking good they are that they get 8 points
That's
in a
nothing for
national
them, too.
in a national championship
They
game.
just got
8
20
fucking
last
points.
week
That's
against
like a
Notre Dame and barely lost the backdoor fucking cover. Last week was a bad college football game in terms of picking. Notre
Roast.
Dame,
That's his first fuck up.
King Kong.
Welcome.
Well, come on in. The water's fine. I'm going Bama though. They've just looked too dominant all fucking
Roll
year.
Tide?
Roll Tide. I, mean, I hate it. I want Ohio State.
I'm
to
going
win.
Buckeyes to cover.
I am rooting
Bucks
for the
cover.
Buckeyes. I'm gonna buy a Buckeyes fucking jersey because I hate fucking Alabama, but I think Alabama's gonna win and cover the points.
I'm
I can
channeling every bit of college football.
You already picked. You picked
eyeball.
Ohio State to win it all.
I said that
Bucks.
was my bet.
They're
Yeah,
gonna
last
cover.
week.
Well, then you can't
100%.
pick Alabama.
Yeah, that's it. But realistically, honestly,
you just got told you can't change your pick.
realistically,
here.
honestly,
It's not allowed,
You
sir.
better-
Topographically, geographically?
yeah, you better own what you said last week, son.
I really think that this is kind of going to be one of those shootouts, and this might fucking be.
70.
I like the points. I think Ohio State has enough firepower to
Yeah.
get some late if they need. I think
Trace Sermon.
This could
Sermon's a
be
real
a
dude.
flashback to the Sean Watson game.
I think Fields can get it.
This is an Alabama national
How do you
championship
think his
games are
ribs
always
feeling though
explosive.
this week?
Terrible.
They can't feel good.
Fucked up.
How do you think his
Ignore
arm
it.
felt after that 65-yard touchdown, though?
But you
after
know
he
what?
threw it?
Adrenaline's rushing, and I think after that cools down and
There's a lot of advancements. in
swelling and that shit
medicine
starts
and
to-
technology.
No,
and
I don't know.
everything.
So
From
do you know
ACLs
what?
and
Do you know how
nightmares.
Is there
Justin
any way
Fields?
Seattle can get either of these backs?
Do you know how Justin Fields gets hit
Hard.
if he has a bad offensive line? And do you know what Ohio State has? A good offensive line that's only played 8 games. And you have a defensive line that has played how many games? Trey Sermon's fresh as shit, and he is a full goddamn back.
He beat-
full back.
And he broke Eddie George's record with fucking 300 yards in that game. Didn't even know what that number was.
So then on top of it, Alabama is going to put 8 in the box. So then you have to try and stop Justin
and then
Fields.
Olave goes over the top, and it's 6.
It's man, I
It's
think
a
it's
lot of
Ohio
fucking
State.
points.
Hey, we'll see.
Buck
Yeah.
eyes.
Sounds like that.
Give me
Jared
the
was
nut.
really glad that Oregon didn't have to play these
And
guys.
this is kind of a hedge bet for me because like
Excited
I
to
said,
play them next
I
year.
want the Buckeyes to win. I do
On
not
the
like
roadie.
Alabama.
At their home.
I
Let's
know.
go.
When do you
Without
get-
Justin Fields.
When do you get the home game back in your pocket?
We
though?
don't. Never do.
Exactly. Just like that, we don't get the Harbaugh game back again.
Yeah,
What
it
the
would have
fuck
been an
was
easy
Michigan
dub.
doing?
Great, yeah.
Michigan fucking extended
I
that
cannot
bump.
believe
They can't
that.
do anything. The buyout was too crazy.
Michigan can't get anybody better.
No, that's the point. They can't get. Well,
can't
they
get
could
anybody.
get somebody better. No, they could get somebody better. But at Michigan, they have too much of a problem like the Dallas Cowboys. They're too big of an institution. Same problem Notre Dame has. Notre Dame loves Brian Kelly. They're not going to get rid of him. He's got us to playoff games, and every time we go, we get blown out. Oh, but we were there. We were there. Stay here, Brian Kelly. We love you so much. We win 10 games every year.
What's all this talk about purity rings?
Oh, it's just I just don't see any way.
Cheers to that.
There's no step forward there.
It's tough if you're Michigan because your entire recruiting scheme is built upon like what the Huskies might have
Legacy.
had a problem.
Yep.
Legacy. What have you done lately? Not much.
Right.
At least Washington got drunk Sark at a sober time in his life.
Sure.
For a couple years to
Now
where they
Texas?
could reestablish themselves. Hey, good for him.
Damn right.
You know,
Get
good
that
for
Texas.
that
Hook 'em
man.
horns.
I saw a tweet the other day that said Nick Saban. Somebody needs to give Nick Saban an award. He's like Coach Rehab.
He is.
Come on in. I'm gonna teach you the
Back
right
to
way
that
to do it.
Pac-12 thing, they didn't have one assistant on that Broyles list. Top 10 assistant, Pac-12 had nobody. It's an irrelevant. We're not even part of the conversation,
Yeah,
And it sucks.
and it's disappointing.
it's Larry Scott's fault.
It's beyond Larry Scott. I mean, there's nobody.
We need
who's
a dominant
putting, the
football
ADs
team
aren't
in the
putting
Pac-12
pressure
as
on
well.
him.
And they cannibalize
They're
themselves
going
every
along with
fucking
it.
year.
The ADs are just
It'll
as
change.
culpable.
It'll
The
change.
entire conference, top to bottom, is
Within
really
the
without direction.
guys, in the next couple years, it'll change. The recruiting's getting better. You can't look at what's done. It's a low period in the time right
What's
now,
been the
but
number
going
one
forward.
complaint about the Pac-12?
But
TV
listen,
deal.
you understand at
Yes,
some point
they're not
in
on
time,
major TV.
right? That's Larry Scott's
So
fault.
with what's the flux in cable, with the flux in streaming, and how people are getting their information, it's crucial in the next 2 years for the Pac-12 to be on a live platform that is available to everybody and to not be shunned out on DirecTV or Dish or whatever fucking network that you think that you're so big that you have to belong to, because we're not. We're the Pac-12. We're not Texas. I'm sorry. I mean, we got good teams, but we need to quit acting like that we don't deserve national exposure. There used to be a time when 12:30 kickoff on ABC
Was a
meant
major
something.
event.
Meant
It's
something for the
embarrassing
West
that it's
Coast.
not there anymore.
It meant something for Oregon and Washington. They kicked off so many games at 12:30.
Keith Jackson.
Yeah, Keith Jackson and who was the Brett Musburger
Yes.
on the call?
Brett
there's
Musburger.
there's the crew right there.
We
That's when the Pac-12 and the Big Ten meant something.
As
When I
before
grew
Larry
up, I
Scott's
didn't even
time.
think the SEC was any good. You know why? Because they weren't. Alabama was getting steamrolled by everybody back then.
Yeah. No, it's gonna. I mean, to go in
And
the
it's
future, it's gonna
cyclical.
change.
I mean,
It'll
sports
change.
are cyclical.
He's got to get fired. He's got to let go, or it won't change.
Well, I mean,
It will not.
Well,
We're going to
think
start a
it will.
petition on Zbookies.com for firing Larry
Please
Scott.
sign it.
Larry Scott's going to be out. That's not the. I mean, Larry Scott's going to be out. But going forward, you have to look at. There's a lot more teams in the Pac-12 recruiting a lot better. For my personal benefit, the numbers I like is that within the next 2 years, Oregon's going to have 40 to 50 4- and 5-star players on their team. That's a full roster, offense and defense, and that's because of Mario Cristobal's recruiting.
I still think
You know what other teams have that level of recruiting that you're talking about? Alabama, Clemson, Ohio.
Top 4, top 5.
You got,
Yeah, I
somebody
mean,
in the
it's-
Pac-12 has to win a big game.
But
I mean,
you're putting talent on the field now because you just made a point of where Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson are just putting players on the field that nobody else is able to put. Well, wait a minute now, because now you have other teams like Texas A&M, like these other places that are popping up. Players now are so much likened to wanting to create a legacy for a school other than being brought into a program where they're like, you're still going to have it happen.
I get what you're saying with the talent, but I would say with Oregon, they had the rookie of the year this year on their roster, and they didn't even make it. I mean, to the playoffs. So
Do you
to
know
me-
who the guy who fucked that up was responsible? He's no longer at Oregon, so that's problems left behind. That's never mind anymore. You had a guy who ran an entire offense that now is the head coach who continued that same offense, totaled an entire game of 5 total offensive yards. That was Ario. Have fun, UNLV. Run Rebels.
Yo,
They're not doing
Mario's
shit.
desired.
Well,
Guys
I guess
want-
I
they
wasn't
want
trying to
pull
ta-
him from the program.
I wasn't trying to take a shot at Oregon. It came off that way.
No,
what I
but
was
I
trying to
get
say
what
is
you're
that the
saying.
Pac-12 has had talent, but for whatever reason, they can't get over the hump when it goes
They
against
only
a
think
good.
USC has talent though on a national.
But they blow it
scale.
in every game.
No, but the point, coming out, Herbert, nobody fucking thought Herbert
And he's
deserved.
He broke the record.
Nobody
Destroyed.
thought Herbert, and I was sitting here smiling, going, Watch, it's gonna happen.
Was he 30 touchdowns, 31 this year?
Yeah,
A lot.
The record was 26.
The
record.
He
That
shattered
Russell
it.
had, right?
And
Russell
did
Him and
Russell
three
had-
other guys,
Did he start
Manning
game
and
one?
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
He didn't start game 1.
No, he didn't.
Did he start game 2?
I think it was 2. Where
didn't start.
Tyrod.
It wasn't game
came
2.
He came in game
Game
1.
It was game 3.
It was the Chiefs game.
No,
was
he
his
came in
first
the-
start was against the
Bengals
Chiefs.
game.
No.
It was the first game.
No.
wasn't
City
it?
Chiefs.
No,
He
Tyrod
didn't
started.
come in and play starter until
He
Tyrod
had a-
Taylor got
that's a
his
great
long
point.
punctured.
That's a great point.
Week 3.
So he threw 30 touchdowns, not on a full.
The point is, we know talent is in the Pac-12.
100%.
It needs to be displayed, and it needs somebody who
So-
knows how to display it.
but now-
Why don't we fucking be the commissioner?
But hold on, yet again, Herbert is
Vote
a
for us.
kid.
We
who
could do a
came
better
up-
job than this
All
guy.
four of us round table
Zbookies for commissioner.
Herbert was a guy who had 3 major offers coming out of high school because he broke his leg. He was a 3-star recruit with 3 major offers, and because he grew up in the shadow of Oregon, he decided to go to Oregon and play, and they gave him an offer. Herbert wasn't a guy who had all of the talent in the world. He had a frame and worked for where he's at now. This is an oddball, like Marcus Mariota. Mariota, another 3-star recruit out of Hawaii that nobody paid any attention to, just won a Heisman. You know?
You know what? Oregon's got the top 5 recruiting class or whatever, but you know what Oregon State has or had? A first down when they went for it on 4th down against the Hawks. So I think that's enough for this week, gentlemen.
I got my prescription on order just to make sure that I didn't see the play the right angle.
Yeah.
'Cause it looked
No, I
fuzzy.
sent you a what was it? Visionworks.com.
Yeah.
I texted it to you. You clearly need some.
I don't know if we
some
can sign off without Q
spectacles.
yet. I think maybe we should wait for sign off.
We should wait for Q.
So you wanted
What do
to
you guys
talk
wanna
about
talk about?
something that was too far ahead. We'll wait till next episode to talk about that. But there is something worth talking about that is coming up: Holloway and Qatar.
Is that this week on Saturday?
I think it's the 14th.
Free fight?
I think it's the 14th, and it is a ESPN.
Free fight?
Yeah, I believe
So
so.
this
It's either
is-
a fight night or a plus.
So I'm not going to relegate Holloway to the term gatekeeper,
No.
okay? Because he's not.
Oh, he
But-
wants this.
But if Qatar wins this fight, he has just supplanted himself past a guy who's held the strap and fought for the strap
Yeah.
recently. He deserves to fight for it after that if he wins the fight, in my opinion. Qatar's been on a different level. He's beaten a lot of
I
tough
agree.
opponents on his rise in the division. That division is kind of stale right now anyway. I think there's a lot of opportunity for Qatar to go in. If he gets like a quick finish, which he won't, because
No.
Holloway's a super, super good fighter. Qatar's going to have
And
to
he's
work
hard
really
to put away.
And the thing is that Qatar's not quite as technical as Holloway is.
No. He's explosive.
He's got the knockout power.
Yeah.
He's got the one punch, and he can take a punch. But we all know that Max can also take a punch as well. He just went 5 rounds with Volkanovski twice.
Right.
And he's also fought Conor. He's tested. I obviously like Holloway and his experience in that fight because I don't think that he lost the championship fight against Volkanovski.
Not the second one.
I think
mean,
that
the
he's-
first one I thought he won too.
I think he clearly won the second fight.
I thought he clearly won the second fight, and I thought he
had
won the first
3
fight.
I had the first 3 rounds to him.
Yeah.
And I didn't even care what happened in the 4th and 5th.
Because it
Volkanovski
didn't
needed
matter.
the finish, in my opinion.
Right, and it didn't happen. And for Volkanovski to sit back and say he doesn't deserve a third shot, it's just fucking asinine. So I think it's more motivation for Holloway to come in, take on
Well, I
someone
agree
like
with
Qatar and
I agree with
smash.
Volkanovski on a financial level. It makes absolutely no sense to fight Holloway again.
Sure.
You have everything to lose in that fight because most of the fans already thought you lost. Why put yourself out there for a third time? It's like the what's his name, Eric? The Juan Manuel Marquez fight in Pacquiao. Pacquiao goes out and beats him twice, barely one time, right?
Yep.
And then he goes out and he gets absolutely killed and slaughtered against him in a fight that he didn't need to fight against him. He got knocked completely the fuck out.
He fought that out of pride, and it ruined everything. He went absolutely, completely knocked out, cold.
Yeah.
I'm taking
Completely
Qatar.
changed his career.
I'm just gonna jump in and take Qatar. He's got a longer reach and he looks better to me when I see the pictures.
It's a good option.
By the eyeball
His
test.
fashion. His
Although
back to the eyeball or the analytics.
Max does have better tattoos, but
Yeah, are we picking on the
Tattoo
numbers?
game is stronger.
Are we picking on the eyeball test?
I mean, if you want to get
We're
into
gonna find
numbers,
out
that's
because we
the
went
fun
opposite
part.
on that. I don't even know what fight it is.
Holloway and Calvin
Pacquiao's
Qatar.
not fighting.
No, but he should be.
So you have Max Holloway at 6.4
I'll just go with the
significant
name.
strikes.
I'll go
look
with
at the
Holloway.
takedown percentage though. Max actually has a clear advantage there.
But okay, so yeah, that's the takedown, accuracy.
Percentage accuracy, yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't throw many takedowns.
When's McGregor fighting?
It's 23rd, I think.
Have you seen him?
Oh,
He's huge.
Holy
Can't wait.
fucking
He's eating
God.
6 meals a
I
day.
can't fucking wait.
Put all me money on him, eh?
I
Big
really.
man, that's for sure.
Yes. Bet you box a little, don't you?
Taking all the
tweeted-
bets.
I follow him on Twitter. So his latest.
Oh, of
I mean,
course.
this is when it's
fucking great.
So when Connor is in this kind of mind state, it's always kind of interesting to see what you're going to get because his most recent tweet that was just.
Where are we watching the fight? That's a more important question.
He tweeted 2 days
Could
ago.
be right here?
He says
On that TV right there?
I got
Fuck that.
We can go to my crib. I got a 70.
He says
Oh, you have a 70s TV? We're going to Q's house.
Let's go to Q's.
I promise a masterpiece.
Yeah.
That's it. 2 days ago. Just simple.
Oh,
sentence.
he's gonna finish Poirier.
Yeah.
And he's going to talk.
That's all we want. Can we give him a promo before he fights?
Well, here's
too,
your
so I
promo.
can have it. Yeah.
This goes back to when they fought the first time, and
Oh, I love this lead-in too. It's awesome because it talks about how annoyed
Oh,
Poirier
Sorry, you
was.
at home. We can't watch this.
Maybe we can actually.
Yeah, that's
you know
fine.
what? We
They
might
don't
be able
need
to
it.
background it in the.
There's got to be some copyright shit. You can't
it's a
play this
copyright.
shit.
You definitely can't do that.
We might even get in trouble for this audio.
Hey.
I just, after seeing the picture of him, I thought he was jacked before the last fight.
No, he's huge
He's fucking
now.
jacked.
Bro, don't you
He's
remember
huge now.
the trap
Yeah.
shots he was throwing to Cerrone? He was hitting him with his trap.
Cowboy? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That
Shoulder-
whole
the
26
shoulder
second
ball.
fight or whatever.
And he has
Yeah.
all the fire in the world right now because Khabib's outright saying, I don't have a reason to fight you. I said I've submitted you and I have no reason to fight you.
He's proved everything he has to prove.
Out of everybody that Khabib's fought, there was the one time.
times has he beat Conor?
You have the one time where he has
Twice?
the tap
he beat him
once.
twice?
No, it's once. And if you watch the fight,
They've only fought once?
they've only fought once.
Oh, shit, my bad.
So
all
look,
good.
there was a time where Khabib
close fight,
looked
actually.
like, and that's my point. It was a close fight.
And
Out
then
of
he had to
everybody-
fight a fight after that.
And if Connor's foot's
Yeah,
broken,
it was, and he actually cleaned up pretty
He
well in
did
the second
clean up
fight.
pretty good
Oh, yeah.
In the second
You could
fight,
see
McGregor
it.
made out the winner clearly.
Bro, that was rock
He had
bottom.
less suspension time and less money forfeited.
Right.
no, Connor, that was.
You took a
absolute-
shit on a bus.
Yeah, that was the rock bottom for Connor, losing to Khabib.
I don't know.
in that
Socking
way.
the old man in the bar might be pretty close to rock
Bro,
bottom.
he
No,
is
that's
that
as well. He's got a
That's
nice
my
laundry
point.
list of shit that I
no.
yeah.
That's my point. Is that he fucking loses to Khabib and he just fucking
Off the
goes
deep end.
brrr, and now he's got 2 kids. He stayed off the fucking radar. He's in a gym. He's
made a
working
lot of
every
money with
day.
proper 12.
He's got proper 12 pumping.
Mayweather,
He's
fighting
doing
Mayweather.
his shit. Bro, this
He
is
didn't
a
have to come back and fight again.
refocus.
He doesn't need to. He could do this sideshow Bob shit and
That's
get away
my
with
point.
it if he wanted.
He
Is he real?
wants this.
He wants to show he's still
wants
a
this.
legit
no, He
badass.
wants to fucking come in. He wants to smoke Poirier.
You're
He's
double
gonna
champ.
Say, listen here, you fucking eagle, get over here, and they're gonna fucking have it out one more time.
with me.
Absolutely. When all of us
fights, we go to war.
You tell me
Real
where.
quick though, Connor's 5'9" and has a 74-inch fucking wingspan.
Yeah, that's got some
Good
banana arms.
God.
I'm telling you, the fire's there. I love Dustin. Dustin is one of my favorite fighters. He's a great dude. He's genuine.
He's in over his head, kid.
Thank you to both of you for putting this fight together. Conor McGregor throws a different punch, and that's why the only people who beat him take him to the ground.
What asinine promise does Dana White make after that fight that he doesn't follow through with? Like, oh, Connor's definitely in line to fight for the title next, and you know
That's exactly
who we're gonna put
all
him
the
up
pressure.
against. I don't know. Probably Gaethje. We'll look at that. We'll look at Khabib. You know, I don't think Khabib wants to fight, but we'll see.
Well, Dana thinks Khabib wants to come back.
Well, that's why he hasn't interim, because he thinks he wants to hold it and defend it still. He's holding out hope that Conor can come back and shake
Bro,
the
they've
fucking
been
country.
talking. This is all fucking show and dance for
Yeah,
everybody
this
who
is
doesn't want to
planned.
look.
Is this the
It's all
beard?
planned. It's all planned.
Is this-
Bro, Dana and Khabib are actively talking. They actively talk.
Are they mind
They
fucking
text
us?
each other.
Absolutely.
Hey,
They're not.
What are you doing today?
They're not Vince McMahon us to
What-
the point of where they're
what'd you have
like
for breakfast?
staged
I wrestled
fights.
I wrestled bear for breakfast.
Do you want to
Russell Bear.
get? You want to get coffee later?
I wrestled
Hey,
bear
Dana,
for breakfast. and
listen,
lunch.
after I smash this guy, I'm going to come out. I'm going to say, hey, listen, last fight at 29-0, it was father's dream to go 30-0. I'm going to go home, have fantastic time with wife. We're going to hang out and work out in gym with all of the family and the men. And then afterwards, Connor is going to
Did
come
you
out.
forget Turkish bathhouse?
After
this.
Connor could come out, he fight, he beat Dustin Poirier, throwaway fight for him. He give fuel to fire. I make comment about, haha, they neither worth it. I choke out. And then, guess what?
Neither worth it. I choke out.
So listen, then
I only
say,
tried to say to Pierre.
okay, I come out to retirement, defend belt against Connor. He
Don't
cannot
do it, no.
win. And then I say, guess what, Connor? You can never get this. You can never get this.
He turned into Borat real quick.
He's
Dagestan.
Bro, you understand that Khabib has literally
great.
become the richest man inside of Dagestan because he's
so hard
fighting?
inside there.
He probably is the
Probably
richest man
really
in
close.
Vegas.
Well, I mean, you have warlords
He
there.
grew up
but
in a
let's be
fucking
real.
warlord
There's some
area.
old. There's some old.
He's the
money.
last
money.
of the heroes that we've talked about this. He's the last of the mythic pharaoh.
Who do you think's got all the
We don't
money
know
in
shit about-
Nigerian Prince schemes? Come on.
No, I guarantee you, if you were to do like an Assassin's Creed game based off of Khabib's DNA, diving back back, you would just end up at like Leonidas in the War of 300, and you're like, oh fuck, this all makes sense all of a sudden.
Just kicking people into wells.
Yeah, this is Sparta.
Yeah, his ancestry,
Yeah.
his ancestry.com
Like, this
lineage
is
has got to be
Sparta.
legit. He goes back to like fucking legends,
Yeah,
gods,
absolutely.
And shit.
Oh
God
yeah,
blood.
you are Alexander
Perseus.
the
Yeah.
Great, Perseus, Zeus blood. Yeah, you're 20% Zeus.
We have ran too long.
Yeah, for
On
sure.
that note,
We were waiting to sign.
we were
off.
waiting to sign off for Q.
We sidebarred.
Can't not sign off
We
with
didn't take a
Q.
leak.
Yeah, we sidebarred all of this cool stuff that we'll get
Yeah.
into when we get closer to the fight here in a couple weeks. But we'll recap playoffs next week, guys. Thanks for tuning in this week. In the meantime, it's N2.
Your friendly neighborhood b-hole.
J-Rod.
Cute.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Check us out on the YouTube stream as well as Spotify podcast. Signing out.
My hands up too fast.